Okay, guys, you asked for it. You wanted it. And here it is. Our first ever multiplayer game cast for The Age of the Ring. Perhaps the premier mod for The Lord of the Rings, The Battle for Middle-earth 2. We have got a really interesting game on tap today. We have The Last Jar. And I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be The Last Jarl, but the name doesn't fit. The Last Jar in the purple playing as Rohan versus Sawman in the yellow, playing as the Woodland realm, the region from which Legolas comes. And this should be an interesting game. Our map is Gror's Valley. One of the things that you've got to give the Age of the Ring people is that they are Tolkien fanatics. They are Tolkien nerds, and I say that in the best way possible. So they make all kinds of references that I have to go and find and look up, and Gror was the name of, I think, one of the first dwarven lords that settled in the Iron Hills. One of the first leaders of the dwarven people. No dwarves on the map today, at least not from the players. We have, what is it again? The Woodland Realm versus Rohan. And so this should be a really interesting matchup. I think this is going to be a lot of fun to cast and a lot of fun to watch. I am really curious to see what you guys think. So as we watch this video, I'll be looking at the comments below. I want to see if you guys enjoyed this game. If you have any feedback, you want to see more Age of the Ring, let me know by leaving comments on this video, liking it. If you want to see more from me, subscribe to the channel. And I'll be keeping an eye on that, and hopefully we'll get to see more Age of the Ring on Iron Kaiser Gaming. But with that in mind, let's go ahead and watch the match now. And one of the things that you have to keep in mind about the Age of the Ring, at least what I have seen so far from the various multiplayer games that I've seen, the Age of the Ring and the Battle for Middle-earth 2 as a whole is a very fast game. This is a game, I almost imagine like a sumo wrestling. The action happens right away. There's a push and a pull that happens almost immediately. And the battle is often decided by who can develop an overwhelming pressure against their opponent or cut him off at the knees, before he can respond. And so here we see that kind of play from Rohan. Jarl is sending in two groups of Rohan militia. I think they're called peasants, if I'm not mistaken. Rohan, they're basic infantry here, the peasants. They're not that good. They are weaker on the infantry side, but you're able to produce them from their economic buildings. You don't need a separate barracks to make them. You can just swap out the farm from resource mode into peasant making mode. And see here, we see the peasants moving in to knock out one of the shrines early on. See, the hunting shrine of the Woodland realm. And it looks like the elves also have that ability to produce Faradir, hunters, out of their hunting shrines, which is pretty cool. But we see this combination of cavalry and peasants coming in for Rohan, trying to create a lot of early pressure. Fortunately for the Woodland realm, this hunting shrine stayed up. Barely. But I mean, right, almost immediately. Look at this. Cav. Peasants. Now, we do have Sigelmeither, which are Woodland Realm. They're kind of the infantry, right?
Awaiting your command.
No, I'm mistaken. Sigelmeither is the spearmen. So that's actually why we see the Cav running away. They don't want to engage on the spears. That is one thing that is pretty consistent amongst most, medieval strategy games, whether you're fans of Age of Empires 2 or, I think even back with like Civilization, in the TBS sphere. It's kind of a universal feature of strategy games is the pikes beat Cav. And I think that's why we're actually seeing from Rohan. If you know anything about the Lord of the Rings, you know that Rohan, they are the horse lords. In fact, the name of this mod used to be called the Horse Lords, and it was all about adding Rohan into the game. And so, was it adding them in? I think it was adding them in. It was either that or kind of improving and changing up Rohan. But yeah, so, Rohan, they're kind of like the Franks in AoE 2. The game plan is so obviously cavalry that, you're going to naturally want to build spears right away. And that means that, Rohan actually might like to kind of switch the game plan up a little bit by massing up infantry and archers. We do see some yeoman archers on the field. These peasants have been drafted, it looks like. We move down here and get into the fighting. We do see, they picked up helmets and shields. Like, these units have not been drafted, so the drafted units get extra armor. I'm not sure if they hit harder as well, but I know that they do get extra armor. So they're a little bit better now. Ooh, meanwhile. Now, you'll notice the Woodland Realm, they've kind of been sitting back, playing a more passive game. Kind of a more of a defensive, turtley sort of strategy. And that has really opened up the map for Rohan. This infantry play, I think, is doing a lot for them right now. The shrine will undoubtedly go down. But meanwhile, in the back corner, we see that the Woodland Realm has produced a Beorning Lodge. And producing Beorning Berserkers. Grimbjorn's folk were known for being grim of face and character and fearsome in combat. Their greatest warriors were capable of tapping into the ancient spirits of the wild, flying into a great unstoppable battle rage. And these units are very good at dealing with masses of infantry. We actually see right here. Here's the first fight of the first Beornings. And the infantry. Putting in work. Look at this. All right. The Beorning has just hit level 4 and now is pulling back to presumably heal up while another wave go in. If Jarl is not careful, if Rohan is not careful, then he will feed these Beornings until they get an elite level of experience. And here we go. Our first hero on the field, Eowyn. On the field for Rohan, and her particular strategic function is as a kind of a support unit and a booster for peasant armies. She's very good at rallying the peasants and kind of pushing them to their limits. Let's take a look at what she's got. Lady of Rohan, leadership modifier. Peasants near her gain 25% more armor and earn experience twice as fast. Readiness summons a permanent battalion of drafted peasants. The Durnhelm. This, she puts on the armor of Durnhelm and kind of switches between the White Lady mode and Durnhelm mode, which makes sense. And this actually totally changes her abilities. So she opens up a whole new skill set once you get to level 5. And then level 10, Lady of Ithilien at level 8, I should say. Summons a garden for 5 minutes that heals nearby units and detects stealth. Bad news for her, though. She's about to die. Beornings have moved in. Yep, Eowyn goes down. These Beornings are leveling up.
The Beornings will see to this land safely.
Now, while this is going on, if you're fans of my previous casts, if you've watched any of my AoE 2 casts, I'm always a fan of looking not only at the battles and what's happening here as the Beornings are kind of mopping things up. Whoa, what was that? We just saw a warp. Hold on. Where was that? The Elven Waystone may teleport targeted units to its location. So I think what just happened is the Beornings were kind of mid-fight, they were getting low on health, and the Woodland Realm player, let me give proper credit where it's due, Sawman. Sawman just saw that they were getting weak and said, hey, back to base, whoop, and just warped them right out. But as I was saying, what I want to see while this is all happening is not just the battles, as fun as those are, but also taking a look at the map situation. What I think that Jarl has going for him is map expansion. You can see here that he has 800 maximum command points. The unit population cap is at 800. So Rohan can field a much larger army than the Woodland Realm can. 800 versus 400. So that's really good news there. And that also means, because those population points are provided by resource buildings, it also means that Jarl is making more money than Sawman is. That's the good news. I also like how he's got a mix of cavalry, infantry, and archers. He doesn't have any siege, and he's sort of stopped. Sawman is doing a very good job just holding the line, which I think is impressive. And he's also picking the right kinds of units and making the right sorts of engagements. The Beornings here are, well, I can't talk him up too much. He just lost those units. So the Yeoman archers picking up some XP there. Who are these guys? Yeah, but this is more Rohan units. The Halifrian... No! Yes. Halifrian Wardens and Edorat's Kingsguard. Ooh, nice. The Kingsguard. Those are elite infantry units. The Kingsguard grant nearby structures 33% more armor. Enemy units within the radius deal 33% less damage for 30 seconds. Sword upgrade, flag upgrade. Cool. If I remember correctly, the Kingsguard are particularly good on the defensive. So I think that makes them an interesting choice in this situation. They're obviously more elite than the peasants are, but I think that you're not getting the most out of the Kingsguard by going on the offense. What I would like to see is some siege. And either, even more expansion. Bring some vills up front and start doing kind of production buildings right up here near the front line. Or, oh, look at this. Look at the cav moving in, trying to find some damage here. Of course, unlike AoE 2, there aren't villagers that the cav can raid. They need to just get in and knock out this building. I think that would be a really powerful thing to take out the Beorning Inn, the lodge. But look at this. I believe that was... Well, we have powers going off everywhere here. Wow. The units are just getting thinned out by these Beornings. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Horn of the Westfold was used by Rohan in order to give targeted allies 60% more damage and armor for 60 seconds. Not bad. But, if I'm not mistaken, the Horn of the Gate was also used by the Woodland Realm at the same time, giving their units 25% more damage and armor for 60 seconds. Now you might ask, well, why is it that the Rohan version is so much better? 60% versus 25%. Once used, passively unlocks Erkenbrand and Westfolders. Well, for one, the Horn of the Westfold, I believe, is a tier 2 ability. I'm not able to check that in the, in the game here, but I'm pretty sure that's a tier 2 ability, whereas the Horn of the Gate is a tier 1 ability. So I think that's the reason why the Rohan version is so much better. Now I gotta say this, alright? And we just saw a big fight. Rohan, I think, lost that fight. At least just looking at the numbers. Now, I'm willing to wager that peasants do not cost as much as the Berserkers do. In fact, I know it. It's 1,100 points for a unit of 3 Berserker versus... What do we have here? I gotta switch over to peasant mode. Where are we? He does not have any peasant barracks activated. All these barracks are in resource mode. Not barracks, you know what I mean. The farms. None of the farms are producing peasants right now. More Kingsguard. More Halifrian warriors. So these guys are like level. These are upper level units. I think he's just moved out from peasants. Rough exterior. So these units, when they hit level 3, they get an ability, increases resistance to range damage by 50% for 20 seconds. So this would let them close in and shake off a lot more archer fire than they otherwise would. And almost all of these units are level 3 here. 3, 3... Well, I guess not, but 3, 3, 3, 4... Yeah, the Woodland Realm has done an amazing job, and I think it is somewhat thematically and lore appropriate that these guys are so defensive. The game plan has been defensive. They've been getting elite units. And look at this. Wow. The Waystone used to teleport. Wow. Used to teleport units behind the lines, and so now Rohan is trapped. If the Woodland Realm wins this fight, Rohan's in trouble. Now, we see here that Rohan has the maximum population limit of 1,000. So they've built a lot of resource buildings, that's great. But they're only down to, 400 pop here. The Woodland Realm only has 600 maximum pop, but they have nearly the same amount of pop. 330 for Woodland Realm, 280 right now for Rohan. And these guys are level 5. We also see, and I didn't mention this earlier, the Woodland Realm has Thranduil on the field. The king of the Woodland Realm. Let's take a look at what he's got. All allies near Thranduil gain 50% armor. At level 7, he himself gains 25% armor. Love of Silver and Jewels at level 3. Grants Cinder and armor to units in radius. They gain an additional 20% armor. And decreases cooldown. So I guess this is something he bestows upon units to permanently give them more armor. So we're just stacking armor here. More armor, more armor. Level 4, targeted terrain becomes hostile to enemy units for 60 seconds. Wow. And that's great for like an area denial. You're in the middle of a fight. Your units stack up a lot of armor, and then you just poison the land around. That's a nice 1-2 punch there. Renowned Warrior. Wow, you gain a bunch of speed and armor and damage over the levels. That's pretty cool. Memory of Mordor. Thranduil is surrounded by memories of the Black Land for 30 seconds. Enemy units are terrified. They take damage. They lose all leadership and deal 50% less damage. Thranduil is invulnerable while the power is active, but cannot attack and is slower by 75%.
Arm yourself with sword and shield.
Okay, what do we have here? These guys are firing flickering guards. Cause enemy monsters to flee in terror. Well, these aren't monsters. Oh no, Aothiod warriors. That is an ability of those aren't Rohan cavalry. No. Spears of Fromsburg. That's a Woodland Realm power. Summons an enemy of Aothiod, commanded by Frumgar, son of Frumgar. The deep cuts. The deep cuts in this mod are incredible. But yeah, the Cav came in and I think absolutely wiped the back line of Rohan's army. And now, you have these elite Beorning warriors. They've hit level 5, maximum level on these units. They've unlocked Wild Rage. They become resistant to knockback, and their movement speed, armor, and attack are increased by 33%, but they can't be controlled during that duration. Doesn't matter. You put them in the middle of the enemy army, you let them go. Just click the button and watch them do work. For the first time this match, the battle is happening on Rohan's side of the field. And I think that this is a pretty tall ask for Rohan, because you're coming in with Kingsguard. They're not bad units, but and now they're on the defense, so there's that. The buildings get extra armor. It's pretty cool. But you've got some pretty high-level units here. The cavalry, though, if you look at the time remaining, Woodland Realm cavalry is about to disappear. Who's this guy? Grimbeorn. Ooh, our Beorning hero. Let's look at what he's got. Son of Bjorn. Provides 33% more armor to nearby Beornings, as if they need more armor. So, more armor. He deals 33% additional damage against Bolg. Oh my goodness, that's hilarious. When activated, Grimbeorn instills fear into the hearts of all orc and war units for 15 seconds. So that first part is just passive. They just get more armor. In addition, though, he does provide fear against orc and war units, which is useless against Rohan. Strongman. Grimbeorn powerfully swings his massive axe, dealing damage to everything around him. Grows in strength as Grimbeorn ranks up.
The legacy of Beorn must not be forgotten.
Isn't the voice acting in this game great? I gotta give a round of applause to the voice actors who took part in helping make this game what it is. You may actually hear my own voice in the mod somewhere. I donated a couple of lines many years ago, so I'm in there somewhere. But definitely a small fry compared to some of the main contributors. And it is just really awesome to boot up and hear so many dedicated fans just give life to this expansion and take it beyond what the original Battle Formula 2 brought. But Grimbeorn, about to hit level 4, and I think what he's done, this is an interesting choice. He's not fighting Rohan, going for the kill. I think letting Rohan get some time to breathe. But what he is doing is ranking up his units with the creeps on the map. And that includes Thranduil, who's now rank 7. He's picked up the Renowned Warrior. And we also have this guy, Galleon. Have I not even talked about Galleon? This is huge. I think we saw a heal, and that was from him earlier. He's level 10. Well, we've got to get back to Grimbeorn. Let's look at this. All right, Angry Drunk. When near vineyards and wells of wine, so this is kind of a defensive thing, Galleon gains more damage. Miruvor. Moderately heals friendly units near Galleon. Heals by a larger amount at level 6 and 9. Well, he's level 10, so the heal is massive now on these rank 5 units. Darwinian Red. Friendly units within the radius gain 50% more damage, but lose 25% armor for 30 seconds. Bad Batch. Causes targeted units to become hostile toward each other for 15 seconds. Oh my goodness. That's massive and disgusting. Really, really good. Let me find Grimbeorn. Where did you go? There he is. I see him right there. No. Here we go. Toll Keepers can be cast on any resource structure to spawn a chest of 850 resources. Pauses resource production for 30 seconds as a result. So you could use it with your own buildings, but even better. Oh my goodness, look at that. A Waystone just popped up, and now once again, Beornings used in the back line. These Rohan units are trapped right now. I'm gonna guess that was Galleon's like chaos power that gets everyone to fight each other. I'm not sure what that green field there was. One of the things that I noticed about this fight, that Rohan committed to a lot of cheap units early on, which, has its own validity. And Rohan was able to take map control early game.
Royal Guardsmen,
but
here to shield the king.
Because the Woodland realm was able to withstand the assault, they picked up a lot of experience and unlocked these powers. And now we see the level 25 ability unlocked here. Great Hunt of Rome. Enemy units within the radius lose 50% armor and 50% damage for 30 seconds. Heroes within the radius have their cooldown timers recharged and are moderately healed. All friendly units on the battlefield may temporarily trample enemies. All cav units gain 50% more armor against spearmen for 30 seconds. That is an incredible buff. And now the Woodland realm is just pushing in. Yeah. Game over. Game over. Well played by the Woodland Realm player. Very, very well done. Guys, I hope you enjoyed that game. That was pretty wild. I gotta say, most of the time in the games that I've seen, one player just begins an initial wave, that pressure hits right away, like we saw Rohan do to the Woodland Realm, and the defensive player is just not able to hang on. And it's a very easy situation where you can just get overwhelmed very quickly. And so, I don't know whether it was Rohan perhaps misplaying when he had the advantage, and or the Woodland Realm deftly defending and preserving his strong units, allowing them to level up and eventually overcome a much larger force with experience and the quality of the units that he had and the experience levels that they gained through fighting. But what a defense and what a counterattack that we saw. I hope you enjoyed that. Again, let me know what you think in the comments below. For now, this is the Iron Kaiser, signing out.